I'm Corbitt with DVAuction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, January the 16th, brought to you in part by Therape, that revolutionary product that is scientifically proven. Folks, there's only one patented appeasing pheromone. It's Therape. Don't fall victim to some of these knockoffs that are starting to come out, guys. For more information, go to therape.com. Also, Unionville Livestock Market in north central Missouri and Creston Livestock Market in south central Iowa. Unionville is having a special calf and yearling sale coming up this Tuesday, January the 20th. It'll be a big one, guys. Check it out. And then up at Creston, Cody Fry had a big sale last Wednesday, this past Wednesday, with a lot of big time quotes in it. He is having a regular sale here today with weigh-ups on Friday, and then a special all-vaccinated calf and yearling special coming up on Wednesday, January the 23rd this week, guys. Board takes off again. I mean, we keep thinking we've squeezed all we can out of this board, but this thing has got new legs, and there's a lot of people that think it has a lot of legs in it, especially the feeder board. Guys are thinking that this feeder board for the summer months might go up and over $4. Now, that would be something, but we're just about to get into some of these reports. We got a cattle on feed report, not today, but next Friday. It is probably going to be the most bullish cattle on feed report that maybe we've ever seen. It may be maybe not the most bullish cattle on feed report compared to what the estimates are, but as far as the data on really tight supplies of feeder cattle out there, guys, it could be the most bullish yet. But everybody's really bullish about what they think that this futures is going to do and what this market's going to do down the line. We are going to be out of grazing cattle. Absolutely going to be out of them, guys. And then later in the summer and the fall, we're going to be out of feeder cattle. Now, this will probably be the end of the tightened supplies, so you better get all the good out of it. And a lot of you guys are betting on the come more than usual and almost to dangerous proportions. They're betting on this come. None of the cattle that are selling in your auctions right now will pencil out, not even the feeder cattle that are going right on to feed, let alone the stockers that are going to be turned out. You're going to have to cheapen them up a whole bunch, guys, before you get them back, unless we see the fat cattle market spur up. And I don't know what's going to make the fat cattle market spur up. These packers just keep knocking the kill back, knocking the kill back, knocking the kill back. We're barely killing anything now, and they're still keeping their customers satisfied. They're getting beef other places. We've seen recently that we didn't used to import a lot of beef from Mexico. We imported a lot of cattle from Mexico, but not beef from Mexico. But now, since we aren't bringing the cattle over, they're bringing the beef over. Beef imports from Mexico are up 16% compared to a year ago since the start of the fourth quarter. So getting a lot of beef from them also. So, you know, they're going to get it somewhere, guys, and they trade worldwide. It's a global market, so you just got to get ready for that. But tell you what, it is a crazy day on Thursday. It's going to be a crazy day on Friday. We got a lot of big sales coming up. Stockman's Livestock Market in Yankton, South Dakota is having a lightweight special. They're going to be selling a lot of cattle from 200 to 700 pounds up there in the northern plains. You know, guys are going to be hungry for them, and it's going to be get them orders, just lights out, get them. So probably be some all-time highs come out of that sale. Nevada Livestock Marketing in Fallon, Nevada is having a big sale, and I'm not there. I should be there. I'm in Oklahoma, but I'm going to miss out on this special. But they're going to have quite a deal. They're going to have 7,000 cattle in Fallon, Nevada at Nevada Livestock Marketing on Friday. There's going to be some buyers in there, I'll tell you what, from all over the West Coast there. They've had a lot of rain in California. Too much rain in some places, but all those pastures are wet over there. They graze cattle in the wintertime on pastures, and they've got lots of grass to turn those cattle out on. But that's going to be a big sale coming up. Both of those sales will be on DVAuction.com. I was at Lynn's Heritage Beef in Burns, Oklahoma on Thursday. I was very impressed with Fred Linz's operation there. I tell you what, He is well versed in the restaurant business, guys. He went to the cattle business from the other end. Got big time, I mean high dollar restaurants that he serves his Lynn's meats to, and they come right out of those Lynn's cattle that he produces there, and then buys back on the buyback program. But I tell you what, they sold 150 bulls at Lynn's Heritage Beef on Thursday. They averaged over $10,500, and we sold a third of them on DVAuction. There's a lot of demand for those guys, but a very impressive sale for them. Let's talk about your board. On Thursday, February live cattle futures were up 90 cents at 236.05. Packers are still trying to buy cattle at 232. They're not going to do it when the board's 236.05. It's a February board. We're almost getting into February for long, guys. April live cattle up $1.10 at 238.42, and your back months up 157 to up 210. So big gains on your live cattle futures for them. Feeder cattle even more so, just like you'd expect. January feeder cattle up 367 at 368.42, just trying to stay in sight of your index levels, because they just keep going. Your cash index levels are keep gaining every day, guys. March feeder cattle up 485 at 364.55, and these spring and summer months on your feeder cattle are just going to leave what's going on right now and go on. Look at your back months of feeder cattle up 247 to up 475 on your way out front feeder cattle, guys. Look at your grains. Corn was up or down 1 3/4 cents a bushel at 420 1/4. Beans for March up 10.5 at 10.53. That bearish WASDE report didn't hurt the beans much. They're far past where they were when that thing come out. Hard red winter wheat for March down 5 cents a bushel at 5.17 1/4. Your fat cattle trade, we still haven't started traded many fat cattle on a direct basis, negotiated out of your direct trade areas. Iowa sold 250 on Thursday, not much at all. They've only sold 500 for the week. And what they've sold on Thursday sold at 232 and 234 delivered. Why are they selling them at 232 when the board's 236? You tell me. Didn't have any trade reported out of Nebraska or Kansas, and of course we don't know what goes on in Colorado or Texas, but I did hear late through private sources that there was some trade recorded at 234 late. And that was in your regional packers there were doing that. They wanted to get in on that 234 because they assume that the market's going to be 234.5 here on Friday, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. Your fat cattle auction that I saw on Thursday, Kelowna Sales Barn in Kelowna, Iowa, it's a DVAuction broadcaster there, had 900 head of fed cattle, sold $3 to $5 lower. They were just trying to prove a point, I guess. Conventional fed cattle selling from 227.5 to 234. Box beef cutout values on Thursday were higher, quite a bit higher, more than we would have expected. Choice cuts 360.77, that's up 224. Your selects were up 206 at 359.71. Your slaughter picked up a little bit late in the week there. Estimated cattle slaughter through Thursday of this week, 469,000. That's 4,000 more than just last week to this point, but still 16,000 less than the same point a year ago. And your actual slaughter information come in was a big surprise there. Your average dressed steer carcass weight for the week ending January the 6th come out at 989 pounds. Wow. Average dressed steer carcass weight 989, and every place discounted 1,000-pound carcasses. Now we're almost averaging that. It's unbelievable, guys. Just making them bigger and bigger and bigger. Talk about what else is going on. Redland Cattle Company is having their bull and female sale coming up this Saturday, January the 17th at 1 o'clock at Bagwell, Texas there, guys. It's the Redbud Farms and Woodland Ag are joining together for the 4th annual Redland cattle company production sale there. They've got red cattle, they've got red Angus cattle, they've got red Brangus cattle, they've got ultra red cattle, guys. Get in on that sale. It's going to be on DVAuction at 1 o'clock on Saturday. Also, I want to tell you about a commercial sale in Kingsville, Missouri, at Kingsville Livestock Auction, the Anstein family there. They had a big sale on Tuesday, their regular feeder cattle auction, and now they're having a special replacement sale this Saturday, January the 17th. They've got a lot of consignments, a lot of multiple consignments. They've got young and running age bred cows, guys, heavy bred cows. They've also got several consignments of fancy bred heifers. It's going to be on DVAuction on Saturday, January the 17th. That's this Saturday, guys. Talk about your feeder cattle market, brought to you by Specialty Risk Insurance. They're working to protect your livelihood, guys. Your real-time index from DVAuction late in the day on Thursday after all your sales have concluded, sitting at 370.03 based on an 800-pound cash auction steer. 370.03. That's a 7-day moving average with thousands and thousands of cattle in there, guys. That 370.03 is up 17 cents from the end of Wednesday's trade. So they were just higher. I mean, your heavier cattle in your auctions are falling back a little bit, but the 7-weight cattle are getting higher, and just the market as a whole is higher, so they're going to come up a little bit. Your most recent CME cash feeder cattle auction, or cash feeder cattle index, sitting at 369.42. Talk about your big sales that happened on Thursday. Ogallala Livestock Auction in Ogallala, Nebraska, had about 7,900 head for their special sale. Had a lot of lightweight calves in that sale, guys. Compared to last week, your steer calves were $3 to $20 higher, but cattle weighing over 700 pounds, steers, were $2 lower. Heifer calves sold $15 to $20 higher, and not that many replacements in there. Most of the replacements have already been taken out of that country there. But $6.50 and up heifers sold from steady to as much as $20 lower. So a big pullback on those big feeder heifers on those, guys. But Ogallala was your Superior Steel Sales, home of Superior Standard Livestock Handling Equipment. Stick out sale of the day. Check out this automated market report through Cattle Market Central and check out your best tested weights. There were 365 out of your 4-weight steer calves. They averaged 449 with a weighted average price of $571.85. Wow. 1,215 head of the 5-weight steers averaged 555 at 503.27, over $5, guys. 1,694 head of the 6-weight steer calves averaged 649 at 443.64. There were 558 head of the 7-weight steers. They averaged 747 at 385.99, and 131 head of the 8-weight feeder steers in Ogallala, Nebraska averaged 824 at 368.62. Look at the heifers. 164 head of 3-weight heifer calves, little peewees. They averaged 360 with a weighted average price of $589.06. These guys are losing their minds on them, guys. 584 head of the 4-weight heifer calves averaged 457 at 524.05. 1,422 head of the 5-weight heifers averaged 549 at 458.73. 894 head of the 6-weight heifers averaged 639 at 402.17. There were 356 head of the 7-weight heifers. They averaged 725 at 364.34. And 293 head of the 8-weight feeder heifers in Ogallala, Nebraska averaged 849 with a weighted average price of $352.13. Another market there that's active in northern Kansas, Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina, Kansas, had 3,500 there, a good sale for them. The steers weighing over 800 pounds were steady to weak. Steers weighing under 800 pounds were steady to $5 more higher. How about your heifers? Your middleweight heifers from $5.50 to $7.50 were $5 to $10 higher. Heifers heavier than that sold steady to weak. Impressive quote out of Farmers and Ranchers Livestock in Salina on Thursday was 59 head of 880-pound steers, bring 358.50. Some other impressive individual quotes I'll give you. How about Stockman's Livestock Exchange? My friends up there in Dickinson, North Dakota, they had a hell of a sale on Thursday. 50 head of steers weighed 765, bring 401. How about Ogallala, Nebraska? An impressive quote, individual quote out of them. 150 head of steers weighed 639 at 472. That's getting up there towards the top, guys. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Thursday in your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day, come out of Valentine Livestock Auction in Valentine, Nebraska. 75 steers weighed 524 at $5.45 a pound. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.
Treated animals received a dose of therapies when they got processed at arrival, and a second one when they were reimplanted. They were fed for a period of 138 days total. So when they were brought back to be reimplanted, a second dose of therapies were applied on the treatment group. And first of all, mortality rate on the control animals was 3%. Mortality rate on the treated animals was 1.5%. So just the reduction in mortality rate, 1.5 steer, and I paid a lot of money for these steers.
They're high dollars.
They're high dollars. Would have a return over investment of 1 to 4 by using therapies. That's just the icing of the cake, because the bulk of the benefits were performance. The cattle that were treated with therapies ate more, but they gained more weight, and they finished with their hot carcass weights being almost 16 pounds. It was 15.6 pounds more hot carcass weight on the treated animals compared to the control animals.
Now, some people may not think that's a lot, but when you're feeding cattle in a commercial environment, the margins are so tight.
Yep.
That's huge. 16 pounds on the rail, that is huge.
That is huge.
Yes.
That is huge. But not only that,
especially for such a small investment, and it's not a big deal to apply the product.
It's not a big deal to apply the product. It's a small investment. We're accomplishing all of this because the cattle is feeling better. You know, we're improving the well-being of the animals, and they're returning with health and productivity. Now, the one thing that was incredible is we also increase carcass quality. Now, therapies, by decreasing stress and increasing intake, it gives you the pounds, 16 pounds of hot carcass weight, but it also increases carcass quality. So marbling significantly increased.
Well, there's a correlation between excited cattle. They don't marble as well.
That's right.
As calmer cattle. So naturally that would happen.
That would happen. Yeah. And we dropped the...
You got higher marbling scores.
Higher marbling scores.
Going to give better quality grade.
You got it.
More return on their grid if you're selling them on the grid.
If you're selling them on the grid, which the majority of the cattle in the U.S. is sold on the grid. If you're selling them on live weight, they were 25 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
So you're making money. If you're selling them on the grid, there's 15.5 pounds of hot carcass weight. There's more Choice Plus. The Choice Plus was increased by almost 10 percentage points. So we dropped the percentage of select carcasses from 10% to 5%.
That's huge.
So there's a lot of money in improving carcass quality. That was the result. So long story short, low-risk cattle still suffer stress. Now you're paying not with mortality and disease, because those cattle do not get the pneumonia and respiratory disease that high-risk cattle.
You don't expect them to.
You don't expect,
especially single source.
They usually do
normally
good.
Don't have any trouble, but it's still
Costing you.
yes, and
Still costing you in production and quality.
yeah.
So eliminating stress with therapies for low-risk cattle will give you more pounds, will give you more intake, which is converted to more heavier carcasses, but also better quality carcasses too.